So the topic for now is quite an interesting one. It's significance of the rising regional content and films in the OTT space. And to moderate this session, I would like to call upon stage Prathamesh Jadhav, Senior Editor, Associate Producer, Planet Marathi, and also a very dear friend of mine to come up on stage, please, for this.
Thank you so much. What an event. This is a lovely vibe, beautiful colors, gorgeous people. Lovely to be associated with this platform. So, yeah. The video, please. The show reel.
With over 12 years of experience across a dazzling range of media, such as radio, print, television and digital, RJ Pratham has worked with reputed organizations such as Network 18, Z Entertainment, DD News, FM Rainbow, Times of India, Facebook India and Epic Channel to name a few, in his capacity of a radio jockey, an anchor, presenter, as well as a journalist. He is regularly invited at various platforms to facilitate meaningful conversations. From Shah Rukh Khan to Deepika Padukone, over the years, Pratham has done over 500 celeb interviews, 200 plus live shows, with a range of movie celebrities and cricketers. He is known for his engaging talks, informed opinions, and in-depth interviews. RJ Pratham surely is your go-to host for everything interesting, engaging, and entertaining.
Thank you so much. Is that me, really? So before I lay the foundation for the next panel, I must start with this unique interview that I did with the renowned actor, director, Mr. Mahesh Manjrekar, and what he said in that interview stayed with me for quite some time. He said people are not interested in knowing what is happening in Miami anymore. They're not interested in knowing what is happening in California anymore. Give them the stories that are from Amchi, Mumbai. Give them the stories from Kolkata. Give them the stories that are absolutely local, hyper-local, and that is your ticket to international. So when you go hyper-local, there is a possibility of going global. So the terminology of going global, he completely changed it. And then came the quote from my dear friend, Akshay Bardapurkar, who is standing right in front of me, the founder of Planet Marathi. When I quizzed him, can we set our shop in Dubai, perhaps in Singapore, in London perhaps? And what he said was amazing. No. While the whole world is looking at us, we cannot leave the country. That is because we're the 5th largest economy in the world is looking at us. We'll make content so rich that the content flies international rather than we go international. Thank you so much for saying that, Akshay. That reinstated the faith. I'm from a Marathi medium school. The language of instruction, of course, was Marathi. Shashank is sitting right in front of me. He is my schoolmate. And then I went to learn English. Did most of my interviews with possibly the biggest media houses in the country. More than 500 plus interviews in English. Did my radio shows in Hindi. And just when we were preparing ourselves for the next big thing, because English is considered to be the language of aspiration, and to be able to be taken seriously, you got to converse and engage and dissect and discuss things in English. But mercifully, things are changing. The mindset is changing. So the story is just when we were building ourselves for the next coffee show, perhaps, there came a new name on the platform. He was quite a disruptor. A, he did not speak English. B, he spoke in broken English, and he used it to his advantage. All A-list Bollywood stars, cricketer, Hollywood actors appeared on his show, and guess what? भाई ये 5 crore से भी ज़्यादा annually tax भरता है. The name is one and only Kapil Sharma. He completely disrupted the game. He was a game changer. And what therefore he suggested by doing what he was doing, because he was driving all his shows in Hindi, sometimes in Bhojpuri, a little bit of Punjabi here and there. So he asked us to look inward. So how do we go forward? We go forward by going inward. Because most of us speak English anyway. So English is not that USP anymore. Most of us speak English with a fair degree of fluency, understand English with a fair degree of fluency. So English is not going to be the USP anymore. Gone are the days of the 80s and the 90s when English was the USP. So how do we go forward? Do we go French? Do we go Spanish? That can help, but to a little degree. Because if you have to make movie like Kantara, or Tumbad, or KGF, RRR, Sairat for that matter, web series like Ran Bazaar for that matter, which is streaming on Planet Marathi, you got to look inward. And how do you look inward? That is because you got to see India not just as a massive land and a massive country, but a continent in itself. And see what has happened. You see India as a continent like Europe, with every state acting like a new country, with its rich cultural diversity, language, costume, colors, food, conflict, solutions, problem, hope, desires. And when you touch upon that, you get stories. And when you touch upon those elements, you get stories that drive you emotionally, and those stories drive box office numbers as well. So that's the kind of India, this new India. I have one more story to tell you, which is quite interesting. Just after the corona guidelines were releasing and we were easing up a little, the whole world was getting exposed to the content worldwide. While most of the world was going Bela Ciao, 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 a large population in Mumbai, as it did in Maharashtra and the world over, was going absolutely bonkers and gaga over Kundi song. You want to see the magic? Can you play the song, please? Mind you, this is a Hindi song placed in a Marathi web series directed by Abhijit Panse sir. And it works magic for us. Hindi song in a Marathi web series with a dialect which is absolutely regional. And right after this song, our servers at Planet Marathi almost crashed, and Akshay is happy about that. But what was even more heartening was the fact that a certain Sunny Leone was doing a number on this one. Now that's going international, isn't it? So looking inward also is looking at your own language with respect, with that dignity, knowing that going forward is going inward. And because media is all chaos, you know what is going to work, what is not going to work. So the way out of this chaos is way in, which is regional. The prime example being what you do in sports. And when I say content, not just entertainment or films, it's also about sports. Look what IPL has done. So just when the whole world was talking about Manchester United or Liverpool, we were talking about Mumbai Indians. We were talking about Lucknow Giants. And look at the kind of revenue it has generated. It created superstars from our own soil. It created a revenue-generating engine like no other from our own soil. So it's high time that India looks at its regional roots, our own mitti, our own soil, with certain amount of grace, dignity, and super punch. Next up is the numbers. I love numbers. Because as Navjot Singh Sidhu says, statistics are like bikinis. What they reveal is gorgeous, and what they hide is essential. So what I'm going to present is all gorgeousness. So this is Planet Marathi OTT. By 2025, regional language consumption on OTT is expected to surpass Hindi language. 45%, that's a huge number. And according to FICCI, 2021 Media and Entertainment Industry Report, the share of regional language consumption on OTT platforms will cross 50% of the total time spent by 2025. So if you're not looking at the numbers and not looking regional, you're missing out on a huge thing. And those who are creating contents, manufacturing it, selling it, and trying to become the king, they must look at these numbers very, very mindfully. So these are now the numbers, overall market statistics. 96 million India's active paid OTT subscription, 40.7 million, 109 million SVOD, AVOD 244.2 million. These are huge numbers, mind you. 353.2 million India's overall digital video audience, and the regional media is growing by the day, if not by the minute. This is brief on Planet Marathi OTT, the platform that I represent very proudly and act as associate producer there. So these numbers and the countries tell you how far and wide we are going, from Miami to Mumbai, from Singapore to Sydney. We are growing by leaps and bounds. So why this discussion? Because it boils down to economics. And what is that? If we produce stories from our own land, not only we are resourcing talent from our own soil, we are also getting writers, we are getting directors, musicians. And once the product is made, the PR machinery, the managerial artillery, the promotional thing, the advertisers, everything comes from our own land and drives our economy and sustains it in a way that is not imagined before. And that is the reason why roots need to be looked at with a fresher perspective. I'm going to call my dear friends on the panel, but before that, I must thank Vistas Media for backing up solidly, for being with us, because the baby has grown. It started taking little steps, and now it has grown exponentially in the past 2 years. It has sprouted wings, and it is flying high and higher. And as Akshay said, that we are going regional. Regional is the thing. And we are going and scaling bigger heights. Now, with Planet Marathi, we are growing and building Planet Bharat. And the theme is just the same. We are getting all those states, their diversity, their culture, all these languages under one common umbrella, that is Planet Bharat. And I must thank certain names without whom this wouldn't have been possible. Abhay Anand Singh, who is with us, Piyush Singh and Saurabh Gupta. Without them, this dream would not have been conceived. Thank you so much. And I'm going to call the illustrious panelists now. Kranti, Redkar, please join me on stage. Sonalee, Kulkarni, please. And the man and the ladies, Shashank, Ketkar. All right. You like the vibe, you like the colors, and you like the language as well. First thoughts.
This is a very important event that has to happen so that we enlighten, we send out a message that OTT is for real, OTT is to stay, and there is lots more to look forward to, right from every region, maybe Marathi, Bangla, whatever, Gujarati, and this is mainly important to create the awareness that if there is theatre, there is cinema, halls, there is something very big known as OTT, which is happening parallelly. And I'll speak more about it, but yes, this is a very important platform to be on. Thank you.
From Planet Bharat, from Planet Marathi rather, we're going Planet Bharat. That means multiple languages. You guys have worked in Hindi, majorly in Marathi. Now, how many languages you have to learn as Akshay comes up with this bigger platform, Planet Bharat? I don't know. Your thoughts on it, Shashank?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this talk. And as likely you said, we as actors, we are ready to work in any language you give us. Any language, any scripts, we are ready. And thank you, Akshay, for giving us a big opportunity to work with Planet Marathi. Even I would rather say that the first web series that Planet Marathi produced, I was a part of it. That is Sopa Nasta Kahi. So it was a very different web series, and I was happy to be a part of it. And so I would be happy to be part of any other language shows as well.
Wait and watch period drama, Sonalee Kulkarni is coming. And multiple languages now.
सगळ्यात आधी आपण रिजनल म्हणतोय आणि मराठीत बोलणार नाही.
Irony,
मला नाही वाटत त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त दुर्दैव असेल. I can speak English, but I want to start in Marathi because आपण रिजनल कंटेंट कसं आता जगभर पोहोचतं आहे लोकल असूनही. आणि जितकं आपण रिजनल असू, जितके आपण ऑथेंटिक असू, जितके आपण आपल्या मातीशी जोडले गेलेले असू, तितकं आपण जगभरातल्या मातीत आपला झेंडा रोवू शकू हे म्हणायला इथे बसलो आहे. सो मला अत्यंत अभिमान वाटतोय की मी प्लॅनेट मराठी OTTचा चेहरा आहे. आणि गंमत ही वाटते की मी प्लॅनेट मराठी OTTवर काहीच काम केलं नाही आहे. Okay, let me translate that for you. I represent Planet Marathi OTT and quite weirdly, I haven't been a part of any web series on the platform. Now that I'm talking about it in front of all of you, I probably realize why still Akshay has chosen me to be the face, because I represent the Maharashtrian audience across the globe who is the consumer of Planet Marathi OTT. I'm absolutely proud because this is the first Marathi OTT platform and it is the biggest. We saw the numbers. I don't like to talk about numbers, but we cannot ignore the numbers. Having said that, मी एक मराठी चित्रपट केला आहे तमाशा लाईव्ह, जो एक्सक्लुझिव्हली प्लॅनेट मराठी OTTवर बघितला जातो आहे जगभर. आणि प्लॅनेट मराठी, जसं तू प्रश्न विचारलास की प्लॅनेट मराठी चित्रपटसुद्धा निर्मिती करतात आणि त्यातला एक पिरियड ड्रामा जो मी घेऊन येते आहे, हा ऐतिहासिक चित्रपट आहे छत्रपती ताराराणी. तो जितका मातीशी जोडला गेला आहे, मला असं वाटते तितकीच त्याची ताकद आहे जगभर पोहोचण्याची. This film is about actually a daughter-in-law of the Maratha Empire, who never thought will have an opportunity to be a part of this family, but eventually becomes the ruler to save the kingdom. And I think this is an underdog story which everybody in the world will relate to, whether the consumers of Game of Thrones or Vikings or anywhere in the world. The story of kingdom, the story of securing, protecting your own land is universal. So मला असं वाटतं की हा एक चित्रपट असा असेल जो जगभरच्या लोकांना आपल्या मातृभूमीबद्दलच्या प्रेमाचं एक नातं घट्ट करणारं असेल. आणि येस, आय एम एक्स्ट्रीमली प्राऊड टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस फिल्म अँड प्लॅनेट मराठी OTT.
मला सांगा, पहिली अशी कुठली फिल्म होती किंवा पहिलं असं थिएटर, मे बी समथिंग दॅट यू डिड और यू ऑब्झर्व्ड दॅट मेड अन इम्पॅक्ट अँड दॅट मेड यू गो वाव, हा रिजनलचा इम्पॅक्ट असू शकतो या स्केलचा, असं काय होतं?
मी देऊ तर माझ्यासाठी श्वास. मी खूप लहान होते आणि मला असं वाटतं की श्वास वॉज दॅट वन मराठी फिल्म दॅट मेड द होल वर्ल्ड लुक ॲट महाराष्ट्रीयन सिनेमा or cinema coming out of the state. Yes, we had been making great content before that, whether it was Pinjra or all those films that we have grown up watching, but Shwas made that entry to the Oscars, and everyone, with their glasses, with their binoculars, with their telescopes turned towards Maharashtra and the films that were made here. The content was always the king. It is the simplicity of the subject and the characters that I think appeal over the larger audience. And for me, Shwas was that simple yet soulful film, that Marathi film that made that impact.
Kranti?
Shwas was one, but I feel what Sairat did was something else, because Sairat got you the numbers. There were Hindi people who I knew in the industry who would come, or random Hindi people or English-speaking people too, and they would say, "Did you watch this movie? Sairat is so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Sairat."
Let's set the record once and for all. It's Sairat, not
Sairat.
Sairat.
It's not Sairat or whatever, but it's Sairat. And everybody watched it. My point is, it's not about making regional cinema just for the region. It's like, if I am a Maharashtrian, I still go to watch Hindi films. And if there is a good Tamil film, I still go and watch it. So the love for cinema has to prevail rather than which language it is in. So even if there is a Sairat happening, there are people who go to watch it in the theaters. So my agenda as a filmmaker, as an actor, is to make content that has no boundaries at all, that has no boundaries of language. It has to be so universal that I would love to, like how I watch Spanish films or French films or American films. So may it be cinema hall or OTT, and I feel the subject has to be so driven. It has to have you have to give something to your audience. You just can't make some movie in the air. There is some giving. There has to be some giving. If there is some giving, I'm sure it connects. It doesn't matter if it is rooted, if it is urban, there has to be a human message to it. If there is something human in your content, everything that is human is universal, because we are all human beings here. So if you make something that is human, you will instantly connect with the audience. And I feel language is never a barrier when it comes to cinema, if it is theater also and if it is OTT also. And if the subject is really driven, then sometimes I feel that people feel little conscious going to the cinema halls, if it is a little bolder or whatever. Not in skin show I'm talking about, but as a subject also, if it is bolder, then people just little bit refrain. I might not want to go with my family to the cinema halls, but yes, in the closed doors, in their OTT, on the television set in their houses, they will watch that content because they get moved by that content, you know. Totally. So yes, so both the journeys are different, but I always feel the language is never a barrier.
Shashank, your choice?
Well, definitely Shwas and Sairat were the two game changers for Marathi industry. Apart from that, recently, the film which won National Award, Me Vasantrao, even I feel that was a different film. And बऱ्याचदा होतं काय की अशा फिल्म्स येतात जातात आपल्याला कळत नाही आणि मग आपण मराठी आता आपण जर थोडंसं मला वाटतं की वेगळीकडे जाऊया, हा विषय वेगळीकडे नेऊ, कारण मराठी ऑडियन्स हा खूप रिस्ट्रिक्टेड आहे महाराष्ट्रापुरता आता. तेव्हा आपण कितीही जरी त्याला खूप पुश करायचा प्रयत्न केला तरी जेव्हा एक बिझनेस ॲस्पेक्ट त्याच्यामध्ये येतो तेव्हा ते नंबर्स, मग तो बिझनेस, मग त्यातला पैसा, हे सगळं इट स्टार्ट्स प्लेइंग अप. आणि मग त्याच्यानंतर असं होतं की याला खूप रेझिस्टन्स येणार आहे, याला खूप रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स येणार आहेत, आणि मग प्लॅनेटसारखे प्लॅटफॉर्म्स काहीतरी वेगळं घेऊन येतात आणि मग ते नवीन काहीतरी फिल्म्स करतात. सो डेफिनेटली कॉन्टेंट, मराठी भाषा, आणि या सगळ्यासाठी मला असं वाटतं की living in Maharashtra, we know all three languages, English, Hindi, Marathi. Even that is a bigger barrier की आपल्याला तिन्ही भाषा येतात, त्यामुळे आपण एंटरटेनमेंटसाठी पटकन हिंदीकडे वळतो, मराठीकडे जात नाही. सो जोर हे चेंज होत नाही ना, तोवर मला वाटतं की हा गेम आणखीन मोठा नाही होऊ शकणार आहे.
ॲब्सोल्युटली. आणि जे तू म्हणतोय मर्जिंग ऑफ लँग्वेजेस, आय कॅनॉट कोट अ बेटर एक्झाम्पल दॅन रान बाजार. लुक हाऊ दे हॅव यूज हिंदी, लुक हाऊ दे हॅव यूज द रिजनल डायलेक्ट्स, आणि तरी ती मराठीच आहे तरी देखील ती सिरीज. मग असं करत असताना, अँड आय हॅव नो क्वाल्म्स इन स्टेटिंग द फॅक्ट दॅट वॉट सेक्रेड गेम्स डिड टू नेटफ्लिक्स, रान बाजार डिड टू प्लॅनेट मराठी. ॲब्सोल्युटली, नो क्वेश्चन अबाउट दॅट. मला सांग मग पुढे जाताना, गोईंग फॉरवर्ड, लिंग्विस्टिकली, बिकॉज ऑल दीज लँग्वेजेस आर मर्जिंग इन टू वन अनदर, हाऊ डू यू नरिश युअर सेल्फ ॲज ॲक्टर्स लँग्वेज वाईज?
I think living in India, you are already exposed to so many languages, cultures. Especially, I would like to give my example. I come from a family where my mother is a Punjabi, my father is a Maharashtrian. I studied in an army school where I had all my fellow classmates, my friends. They were from all across the country, and every 2-3 years, people would change, and then you would have different people. So I think me as an individual, because I've grown up in an environment where I have met kids from all across the country, I've had that exposure to connect with each of them, try and learn a little bit from their language, their tradition, their culture, their home. This is a pro. But the other side of that is, because I've studied in a mixed culture, I've been grown up in a mixed culture, I never learned Marathi in school. I did not have only Marathi speaking environment in my home as well. So when I started acting in Marathi films, I could not प्रनाऊन्स ळ च ञ मला मराठी बोलता येत नव्हतं.
हळद बोल ना एकदा.
अर्थातच मी मराठीत लेख लिहिते, पण मला वयाच्या 18व्या वर्षापर्यंत शुद्ध आता आपण बोलूयात नको, मराठी बोलता येत नव्हतं. आणि मराठी चित्रपटसृष्टीमध्ये करिअर करायचं ठरलं. आणि मग सगळं रेव्होल्युशनच घडलं. आय हॅड टू पिकअप द लँग्वेज फ्रॉम द ब क. आणि मग त्यातही मग मी वेगवेगळ्या महाराष्ट्रात फक्त मराठी भाषा नाही आहे, तर वेगवेगळे डायलेक्टसुद्धा आहे. सातारकडची वेगळी भाषा, मराठवाड्याकडची वेगळा डायलेक्ट, विदर्भातला वेगळा डायलेक्ट, कोल्हापूरचा वेगळा डायलेक्ट, कोकणातला वेगळा डायलेक्ट. अँड माय फर्स्ट फिल्म वॉज बेस्ड इन सातारा, जिथे मला धनी जेवायला बसताय ना असं वगैरे बोलायचं होतं. आणि मला काहीच मराठी बोलता येत नव्हतं. वाय आय एम ब्रिंगिंग दिस अप इज because I was subjected to that situation. I picked it up, I learned over the period of years. Very proudly I can say that I write articles for papers in Marathi. So you have to, as an actor, as an artist, adapt and keep adapting yourself, not just in terms of linguistic department, but everything. The kind of filmmaking has changed, audiences have changed, we have evolved, and over the period of time या सगळ्या गोष्टी बदलत राहणार आहेत. टिकून तोच राहतो जो अडॅप्ट करत राहतो. आता मी एक मल्याळम फिल्म करते आणि असं मला वाटतंय की मी पहिल्यांदाच सिनेमा करते, बिकॉज मल्याळम इज अ डिफरंट लँग्वेज ऑल टुगेदर. अँड आय हॅड टू पिकअप अगेन लाईक हाऊ आय पिकड अप मराठी फ्रॉम अ ब क. तर द बॅरियर्स आर ऑलवेज गोन टू बी देअर, बट ॲज अन ॲक्टर, ॲज अन आर्टिस्ट, ॲज अ फिल्म मेकर, ॲज अ कॉन्टेंट मेकर, you have to keep adapting yourself and there's no other option.
क्रांती,
I think
करावं लागतं का, म्हणजे खूप ऑब्झर्वेशन.
मला असं वाटतं there are some people who pick up languages very quickly, but it is difficult for some people to pick up languages and then they do that A, B, C, D and then somebody else dubs for them. But I feel every actor, whoever it is, actor एक species अशी आहे ना who's extremely greedy, one, and extremely hardworking because they go after their passion and then they give it 100%. And I feel like how Sonalee said, definitely yes, you try your level best to get into the skin of character, because if you know the language, if you know your lines by heart, true, only then you can afterwards act, no? Otherwise you'll keep thinking what my dialogue is. So it's better you prepare it first and then go. But yes, definitely, even I have done ad films in so many languages. I still remember I did a Bengali ad film. Shobhar Sharita dekho, sunlight diye dueche nishchoy, kemon shamkoche dekho, notuner motu. I still remember my lines. So I think it's a Bangla line which I probably did 18 years ago, which if I still remember, I think actors are prepared. Akshay, just produce, man.
No, and did you guys notice the way she said it? It's not just about the lines. Every language or region has its own gestures, the way of speaking. Absolutely. When you speak Bengali, you talk like that. When you speak Marathi, तुम्ही वेगळ्या पद्धतीने बोलता. South Indian languages चारही वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने बोलता. So it's not just the language, but the nitty-gritties, the detailing that every state or every region or every culture, that's how they're different. So it's not just about the language.
Love the way you guys are plugging in Planet Bharat. Thank you so much. You're doing my job. Shashank.
ॲक्टर्स म्हणून आम्ही मगाशी तेच सांगितलं की आम्ही कुठल्याही लँग्वेजमध्ये कम्फर्टेबल आहोत. आम्हाला यांच्या इतकं मी काही बाकी लँग्वेजेस मी काम नाही केलं आहे. आय हॅव डन माय फर्स्ट हिंदी प्रोजेक्ट विच विल गेट रिलीज्ड ऑन 2nd of September ऑन सोनी लिव्ह. सो आय एम रिअली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड. बट इवन आय वुड लव टू वर्क इन डिफरंट लँग्वेजेस. पण हा ॲक्टर्सचा एक भाग झाला, एक पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह झाला. मला कायमच आपल्या इंडस्ट्रीकडे बिझनेस म्हणून बघायला स्वतःला खूप आवडतं, म्हणजे प्रोड्युसर्सच्या पॉईंट ऑफ व्ह्यूने सुद्धा. आणि तिकडेच मी नेहमी तेच म्हणतो की मराठी कॅरेक्टर्सना खूप डिमांड आहे. मराठी कॅरेक्टर्स वेगवेगळ्या फिल्म्समध्ये अनेक वर्षांपासून मराठी कॅरेक्टर्स वापरलेली आहेत, पण कुठलाच हिंदीतला मोठा फिल्म मेकर मला आता एक मराठी फिल्म करायची असं म्हणून येत नाही. जो साऊथ इंडियात जातो की मला एक साऊथ इंडियन फिल्म करायची आहे, किंवा साऊथ इंडियातले जे मोठे स्टार्स आहेत, म्हणजे सेतुपती सर आता बॉलिवूडमध्ये डेब्यू करतायत, वेब सिरीज करतायत, हे सेलिब्रेट केलं जातं. बट मकरंद देशपांडे इज वर्किंग इन साऊथ इंडिया फॉर सो मेनी इयर्स. अतुल कुलकर्णी, गिरीश कुलकर्णी, सयाजी शिंदे सर, सई, एव्हरीबडी इज वर्किंग इन साऊथ इंडस्ट्री फॉर सो मेनी इयर्स नाव, पण ते असं सेलिब्रेट होत नाही. सो हे बॅरियर्स ब्रेक करणं खूप अवघड आहे मराठीला, असं मला वैयक्तिक वाटतं. जे आता बदलतंय चित्र, पण पुन्हा तेच आहे की आपल्याकडे येऊन कोणी करत नाही आहे, आपल्याला बाहेर जाऊन ती करावी लागतात कॅरेक्टर्स, आणि त्याच्यासाठी अशा मोठ्या प्लॅटफॉर्म्सची गरज आहे.
My last question is, because you guys have worked on in various media, could be theatre, could be television, which you have worked extensively, films in your capacity both as an actor as well as a director. When you see the Indian diaspora, Marathi diaspora, growing abroad as well, and therefore the community and therefore the consumption has changed, and content creation always follows the trajectory of content consumption. So in that sense, how do you see this change? आणि एवढे जास्त OTT platforms आहेत, is it overwhelming? Do you tweak your craft according to the changing media? How do you do it?
So to answer this, I feel it is very tricky what the consumption is actually. Because if you go to see Marathi, there is a Sairat that is also working. There is a Baipan Bhari Deva is also working. There is a Shwas that is also working. Now all these three films have different genres. There is a Banwa Banvi also that worked. Okay, so here what I have gathered is good cinema, you have to make good content. I don't know if Marathi people are extremely, if there is somebody who will come and tell you that, listen, I have watched the film, I have liked it, so you go and watch it. And then they will go. But just seeing the promos and all, and after that if you expect them to go and watch it, that might not be their first instinct. Okay, so they always want somebody to assert it, that listen, it's a good film. So Marathi cinema, because I'll tell you there is one more reason to it, because the kind of publicity that is done in Marathi cinema, the money is not enough. It is a regional cinema. So the kind of bombardment that Hindi cinema does, we are not able to do that because we don't have that kind of funds. And then what happens is a mouth publicity is the best way of promoting the Marathi film. And how will that happen? Only if your content is good that will happen. Nobody will watch a bad film and come and tell you, listen, it is a bad film, but you go and watch it. No. So what will work is good content will work, and twerking it or making changes to it, you can make a change only in a way that you make a better product. Not that comedy will work or tragedy will work, everything will work. Now Kakan is working after 5 years of the release. It didn't do business that time, but it's doing fantastic right now. But I wish, no, as a filmmaker, it would have done better that time. But no money to publicize it, right? And you get very small window when you have so much competition of Hindi and English cinema on the theaters. You don't get enough shows. That is the main problem that Marathi cinema is also facing. And then we have to reach out to the OTT channels. Thankfully, Akshay Bardapurkar has been kind enough to open up a OTT channel that is promoting exclusive Marathi content, and we today have a shelter over our heads. So yes, good content is the answer, is what I feel.
Sonalee.
I think, can you just repeat, because was it about how as an actor तुम्ही वेगवेगळ्या माध्यमांमध्ये कसं
OTT एवढे जास्त मग थोडा ओव्हरवेल्म व्हायला होतं की तुला थोडं आपली क्राफ्ट आणि तुला ऍक्टिंग स्किल्स बदलायला पाहिजेत का नाही बदलायला पाहिजे असं गोंधळ होतो का?
Like I think Shashank would be the ideal one to answer that, because he's worked in theatre, television, dramas, cinema and OTT, all 4 platforms. So from that point of view, I will leave that to you to answer.
वेल थँक्यू सोनाली. तिन्ही माध्यमांमध्ये मी काम केलं आहे. थिएटर्सना डेफिनेटली थिएटरमध्ये नाटक, प्ले याला तुम्हाला डेफिनेटली थोडंसं लाऊड करायला लागतं, कारण मागपर्यंत पोचवायचा आहे, विषय तुम्हाला पोचवायचा असतो. त्याची एक पद्धत वेगळी आहे, टेलिव्हिजनची अर्थात पद्धत वेगळी आहे. पण वेबसिरीज म्हण किंवा फिल्म्स म्हण याला ना एक कन्स्ट्रक्टेड बांधलेलं असतं सगळं, सुरुवात मध्ये शेवट आम्हाला माहीत असतो. आणि डायरेक्टर तुम्हाला काय पद्धतीने वळवतो आहे, काय पद्धतीने मोल्ड करतो आहे, त्यानुसार तुम्ही तुमचं क्राफ्ट अर्थात बदलता. पण जसं पर्सनल, बिकॉज एव्हरी स्क्रीन इज अ पर्सनल स्पेस दॅट यू आर वॉचिंग. करेक्ट. पण क्रांती जे म्हणाली तेच की ऍक्टर्स शेवटी काय, मी नेहमी तसंच म्हणतो की माझं हे हँडरायटिंग बदलणार नाही, मी त्या हँडरायटिंगनी गोष्ट वेगवेगळी सांगत राहणार आहे. सो माझा चेहरा एका पॉईंट नंतर मी कसा तुमच्या समोर अपिअर होणार आहे हे काही बदलणार नाही आहे. माझ्या थ्रू तुम्हाला वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी सांगत राहणार आहे. सो गोष्टी सांगणारी माणसं, कारण हे टीमवर्क आहे, इट्स अ टीमवर्क. सो या टीममधला मी एक खूप छोटासा भाग आहे. सो याच्यात बाकीची माणसं जेवढी आणखीन प्रोफेशनल येतील, जेवढी जास्त ग्लोबल विचार करणारी माणसं त्या टीममध्ये जशी येत जातील ना, तसं तसं तुमचं क्राफ्ट आपोआपच चेंज होत जाईल. त्याला काही फार आम्हाला ॲक्टर म्हणून वेगळा खूप एफर्ट टाकावा लागेल असं मला वाटत नाही नंतर.
And I'd like to sum it up, the second part of the question. As an actor, yes, you feel overwhelmed when you see so many platforms, so many things happening around you, as an audience also and as an actor also, what to choose. But usually I think actors are not the privileged ones to choose. We are chosen to be a part of different content on different media. But at the same time, I think it is amazing that we have so many options today. Everyone has got work, whether it is writer, director, actors, technicians, everyone has something to do and deliver their best in whatever options available. So thanks to all the OTT platforms. ज्या लोकांकडे आधी कामं नव्हती त्यांना आता भरघोस काम आहे आणि मला असं वाटतं की यामुळे कधीच कामासाठी कोणाला घरी बसावं लागणार नाही इन टर्म्स ऑफ द क्रिएटर्स. ॲज अ मेकर देर इज ऑलवेज अ डिबेटेबल क्वेश्चन की मी ऑडियन्ससाठी आपलं प्रोडक्ट बनवतो आहे की स्वतःसाठी बनवतो आहे. ॲज अन ॲक्टर फॉर्च्युनेटली आम्हाला त्या धर्मसंकटात पडायची गरज नसते. वी आर नॉट ॲज प्रिव्हिलेज टू चूज, बट येस वी आर प्रिव्हिलेज इनफ टू हॅव सो मेनी ऑप्शन्स अवेलेबल. आणि थँक्यू टू ऑल दी OTT platforms and especially Planet Marathi for being a game changer.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So many options available, plethora of options, but how many afford to glow as beautifully as Planet Marathi logo that we see? Thank you so much, Akshay, for being the visionary that you are, for creating this platform, making it global, and now integrating all the states within a same umbrella and looking forward to Planet Bharat. Absolutely. Vistas Media, once again, thank you so much for being the solid support that you have always been. Abhayanand Singh, Piyush Singh, and Saurabh Gupta. Without you guys, gentlemen, this wouldn't have been possible. Thank you so much for this lovely chat that we had. Thank you.